So it seems like recently there's been a huge controversy all surrounding one English voice actor, and as we know, English voice actors tend to have a pretty crazy time whenever it comes to, some of their opinions on their own characters, which aren't, accurate to the actual character itself, and often end up making up their own little headcanons, which they tried to pass off as like the truth, but in actual fact, it's still a headcanon because the creator of the series has not confirmed this at all. And today, obviously, we're talking about Sean Chiplock, who is the voice actor behind Subaru, the English voice actor, I should say, obviously, the dub voice actor. He's worked on a lot of projects, obviously. I'm pretty sure he's in like Genshin Impact and stuff. We talked about him before with his tweets about Charlie Kirk and things like that. You can probably guess what he was saying about that. But of course, it's been pretty crazy to see this one interview, obviously by a light novel historian here, because he talks about the fact of Subaru and the character of Subaru and what he believes him to be, and he believes the fact that he is 100% neurodivergent, which obviously this person is using as proof that the character is that, which I think is insane.
And I also appreciate that he was someone who thinks a lot and then just act like it's almost like Death Note in a way, where you'd have entire scenes where he's talking out loud to himself for like a minute and a half at a time. Yeah. If I do this, then this is going to happen. And let me just say it right now. His ass is so neurodivergent. It's 100% neurodivergent. Yeah, I mean, I am the kind of person who will think through every possible outcome of a social situation before I've even gone to that social situation, because I want to be prepared so that I don't make a fool of myself. But then I often end up stressing myself out because I'm thinking of all these potential outcomes, 95% of which are never going to happen in the first place. So I think that's what made me so excited when I had the chance to audition for him. Is I think about the first fight scene when he's fighting against the thugs in the alleyway for the first time, and he punches someone. He's like, "Oh my God, I actually did that." This is a weird example, but it will make sense when I describe it. So there was a event that I was a volunteer for where I happened to be witness to two people getting harassed by someone, like verbally and almost physically harassed. And the only thing that I did was record so that if something happened, I had proof to provide to somebody. And they didn't like the people who were assaulting the other people didn't like the fact that I was recording. So all of a sudden they targeted me. And I mean, they came up, they physically assaulted me. They tried to grab my phone. They didn't end up getting it. And you would think, wow, that might be really stressful. But when they left, when they got apprehended, when people got a hold of them and all that was over, instead of me going, oh my God, I'm so scared. Oh my God, I can't believe that happened. I was like vibrating with energy going, holy crap, I was the person who got assaulted,
So yeah, obviously you can see that he's trying to kind of relate the character to himself, saying like, oh, I think about this in like a neurodivergent way. So, obviously the character that I voice must also be like that because he thinks in the same way as me. When in actual fact, I feel like it is just more to do with like just anime tropes and things like that. Like, well, not tropes, but there is a lot of thinking out loud. There is a lot of monologuing and things, which tends to be more present in anime. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they're neurodivergent. It just means that that's just kind of the style of the anime, right? But of course, yeah, a lot of people are now using this, including this person here, saying, and they said, and yet we have people that deny it to this date. So essentially using it as proof that Subaru is neurodivergent, which isn't the case because Sean Chiplock is not the creator of ReZero, right? He did not create the character. He does not know the character in, the kind of setting of the story. He is literally just the voice, right? He doesn't get to choose anything to do with the story or how characters act or what happens to a character, right? And again, I do think it is pretty crazy. And we've seen this happen a lot, right? We've covered a lot of previous Genshin drama, for example, of English voice actors putting in their own headcanons and them getting, obviously rightfully so, a lot of hate from it because lots of people, I don't know why people haven't realized, well, voice actors haven't realized now, maybe don't kind of voice your headcanons publicly, right? I think it's okay to have your own headcanons about characters and whatever and think, oh, maybe they might be neurodivergent, whatever. But I think as a voice actor, if you're voicing that character, or even if you're a voice actor of the series and talking about another character within the series, I think you got to be much more careful about how much you spread your headcanons and things like that, because people like this will then go ahead to use it to say that this is 100% undeniable proof and everybody tries to deny it, but this voice actor said so, so it must be true, which again, I just don't think is the case, right? If the author said it, then fair enough, but the author did not say it, and I think that is the kind of point. And as I said, I don't know why these voice actors don't learn that, hey, people are going to take this very seriously, your headcanons very seriously, to the point where it's probably worth not talking about it, because of course it does start to screw with some people's ideas of the story, which the author hasn't even, you know, created themselves. I've said, if you take this as a canon source, I'm sorry to inform you of how dumb of a person you are, that I'm sorry for the poor reading comprehension you have, because I never said that Sean is the canon source. We've already been knowing, so never mind Sean's statement, because if you read the novel / watch the anime and think Subaru isn't neurodivergent, then unfortunately you are dumb. Which again, there is zero proof of that being the case, right? Like, I think it's crazy. So as someone who is neurodivergent, if the author doesn't confirm, then he isn't neurodivergent. No matter what the voice actor claims, the voice actor is not the writer. All this does is cause unnecessary drama and make neurodivergent people look bad. So as someone who has a psych degree and ND, I'm allowed to confirm that Subaru is indeed ND. Like, oh my god, bro. Like, oh wow, okay, congrats, you got a degree. But that doesn't mean that you could just, you know, because you have a degree in some kind of like, you know, psychological stuff and whatever, that doesn't mean you can start to change the, you know, characteristics of another character, in a story, right? Just because you have a degree doesn't make you like eligible to be like, actually, this character is actually this, right? No, that's just not the case, right? So again, it's all down to whether the, you know, author confirms it or not, which they have not. I agree that he's neurodivergent, but I don't think the ENVA is really some gotcha reliable source, Lamar, which is, yeah, true. I'm saying, sorry, but what? I mean, since when the English VA is an authority in what? Even the JP one wouldn't be an authority. Guys, Subaru doesn't need to be neurodivergent to be good. Which, yeah, 100%, right? I think that's fair enough. So yeah, if you say source, I made it up. Again, it is exactly like that, right? There is no source for this. They've just gone, oh, those characteristics are a little bit odd, and that's what I think in my head, right? And as I said, you're allowed to think this in your head if you really want to, right? Again, I don't really think about anime characters like that much, right? At least maybe I'm the weird one. I don't think about them like on days on end. I don't just like sit there just thinking like, yeah, maybe Subaru is neurodivergent. I just go, oh, that's a cool episode. Anyways, moving on with my life, right? It's like, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. And of course, yeah, lots of people have been talking about it. Chibi saying English dub a VA of Subaru tries to push the agenda. The Natsuki Subaru is neurodivergent. Same voice actor that cheers for Kirk's death. Author Tape has never said he was neurodivergent. The parasites are inside and doing what happened to Hollywood. So thinking the character is neurodivergent is an agenda now. Seriously, he said this dude shoves his politics into everything, which, yeah, that's fair enough. Then Tape, the author and creator, is the sole expert on canon, full stop. A voice actor is not the place to proclaim anything about their characters that isn't a part of the source material or direction from the creator until Tape says he has tism. Subaru is a normie otaku lolly mansa. So yeah, of course, it's just one of these things where, as I said, like as a voice actor, you just got to be, you know, kind of careful about what you say about your own character or other characters within a series, because you then start this drama, you start this debate, because at the end of the day, you are not the creator of the series. If the creator of the series says that is true, then sure, go ahead and talk about it. But if it is just a headcanon with no actual real source behind it, then maybe leave it to yourself. Maybe don't reveal this to the audience, because of course people are going to start to use it as like the gospel, or you know, some people are going to obviously not be so happy as well. As you can see, there's been a lot of controversy from it, and you can definitely tell that from the ratio. Here you got 366,000 views to 600 likes. That is not good, right? A lot of people unhappy with that, and that's fair enough, right? I don't think a voice actor should kind of do this. Saying this is the problem with Western voice actors. They're generally convinced they are the character they voice and have some deeper connection to them, instead of just being a voice that they think they act like a co-writer, which is 100% true, right? And it is a problem that has been going on. But yeah, that is essentially all there is for this situation. If you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameSubs, use my code Kaza, get 10% off. Again, they've got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.